Remember 2008, when the entire global financial system nearly collapsed because everyone believed housing prices could only go up? Wall Street's smartest people were packaging garbage mortgages into safe investments. Regulators approved them. Rating agencies gave them gold stars. Investors threw money at them. Nobody asked the obvious question: what if we're all wrong? Well, it's happening again, right now. But this time, it's not mortgages, it's artificial intelligence. And the crash could be even worse. Here's what's going on. Every tech giant, every startup founder, every investor from Silicon Valley to Wall Street is absolutely convinced that AI is the next revolutionary technology. They're dumping billions, hundreds of billions, into infrastructure, chips, data centers, convinced that massive spending today will lead to industry-wide profits tomorrow. There's just one tiny problem. The demand isn't there. Let me explain. When AI promoters talk about demand, they're really talking about LLM training sessions and chatbot queries. You know, people asking ChatGPT to write their emails or generate images. That's not real revenue. That's not sustainable business. Most of the actual money flowing through this ecosystem, it comes from a limited pool of venture capital funds. They're basically funding each other in a massive circle. The information recently reported that LLM companies generate about $18.5 billion in annualized revenue. Now, they published this number to push back against an MIT study that found 95% of businesses are seeing zero return on their AI investments. But here's the kicker. $18.5 billion is absolutely nothing compared to the hundreds of billions being poured into this space. And it gets worse. These companies aren't actually profitable. For every dollar they make, they're spending just as much or more. Heavy users burn insane amounts of electricity. They're literally wearing out NVIDIA chips faster than they can be replaced. And the free users? They'll just switch to a competitor the second you try to charge them. This is a house of cards. Now, there are two massive problems driving this bubble. Let's call them what they are: the fallacy of composition and adverse selection. The fallacy of composition is simple. Just because something works for one company doesn't mean it'll work for everyone. If Microsoft makes money selling AI products, investors assume the entire AI sector will print money too. But that's not how markets work. Success in competitive markets comes at someone else's expense. There can be winners, sure, but not everyone can win. We saw this exact same thing in the late 90s with telecom. Just because one broadband provider had profitable demand didn't mean every fiber optic network was worth building. Billions got dumped into cables that sat unused for a decade. Then there's adverse selection. In insurance, this is when sick people buy health insurance while healthy people don't, and the insurer goes broke because they're only covering high-cost customers. In AI, something eerily similar is happening. The heaviest users of these AI tools, the ones burning through the most computing power, aren't paying enough in subscription fees to cover their costs. And the casual users, the vast majority of people, are never going to become paying customers. The entire business model is broken. So what happens when the market figures this out? You get a doom loop. Companies overspend on infrastructure, betting on future demand that never shows up. Investors keep throwing money at it because everyone else is. Until one day, someone finally notices the emperor has no clothes. The really frustrating part? This is completely avoidable. But just like the housing bubble, nobody wants to be the person who questions the narrative. Nobody wants to look stupid by sitting out the party until the music stops. And trust me, it always stops. If you want to understand what's coming next and how to prepare, hit that subscribe button. Because when this bubble pops, you'll want to see it coming. Drop a comment if you think I'm wrong, or if you're already seeing the cracks.